On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, My Hero Academia episode 84, Deku Vs Gentle Criminal. Believe it or not, I actually love today's episode. After watching it, I could not stop thinking about Yu Hakusho. Confused? Don't worry, I'll explain. Now, last we left off, the school festival is in full swing. Everyone is doing their parts, pitching in to make it the best they possibly can. Especially when it comes to Class 1A. Feeling pressured by some undeserved guilt, they decide to take this opportunity to make their class project one where the other students can, relax and have fun and release all the stress pent up due to, unforeseen circumstances like villains constantly attacking UA. This arc is taking the opportunity to not only showcase other students like Jiro, but it seems like we're finally gonna get some power progression in the way of Deku trying to master One for All, or at least 20% of it. Well, today's episode, the time has finally come. It is the night before the school festival, and everyone is getting their last minute practice in. And come on, Mina, how the hell are you gonna rip into Deku for his moves when Ida is looking stiffer than Dick? Or at least one after they watch interspecies reviewers? But a busting in hound dog says it's 9 o'clock and it's time for everyone to get out. I'm gonna be completely honest, the way they actually, represent his character is very, very creepy. He's one of the heroes that actually gives me a creep. He's probably pretty good. I mean, it lists him as a fucking guidance counselor, so he has to have some kind of communication ability, but the way that he just growls and fucking barks and shit, it's very unsettling. I don't know why it hits me so hard. I love dogs. I'm a dog person, but just not a man dog person. I'll fuck with a cat dog though. I will fuck with a cat dog. Now, after returning back to the dorms, it seems half of the students are asleep while the other ones are just filled with anxiety and excitement and just, really can't get to bed. And this is where we get the setup for all the action we're going to see in today's episode. Once again, hanging out with his new best friend, Aoyama, Deku notices that the rope they are using is completely frayed and is unsafe. Kaminari opts to go with Momo to make them a new one, but seeing how she's not a tool for everyone to use, even though he says, hey, you guys use me to charge your fucking phones and shit, and Mineta is to quickly point out, the sexism in that, Deku thinks it's better just to go, to the hardware store tomorrow morning, as there's one not too far away from the school. And if you have eyes like a hawk or mind like a steel trap, you should know why this place is important. Late to bed but early to rise, it seems Deku is trying to get in some morning training before the festival actually begins. While still trying to master the instant power spike, he's once again interrupted by Hatsume. This time, instead of looking for one of her babies, she's bringing him one of his. Yes, the hero support item he has requested is finally done, and she seems to be super excited about it. Well, to be honest, excited isn't the right word. It's more like wired. I'm assuming she's been up for weeks without sleep. She pretty much says she's gonna hibernate for the next 36 hours once the festival is over. Deku is excited though, and even All Might is pretty surprised that the hero support item has come a long way since his day. The one used to suppress or work with his 20 or 30% was literally like a suit of mech armor, like almost looks like 2 or 3 inches thick, and now it's just can fit in the form of a fucking glove. Very surprising. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether he had time to actually practice with this glove. We know he still is practicing fingering or finger flicking. But before we know it, it cuts to the next scene where he's running around trying to collect all the stuff needed for the festival, eventually making his way to the hardware store where he runs into a very interesting duo. Yes, this hardware store, if you paid attention, we actually saw earlier a couple episodes ago when Gentle was going over his plan. The tea house that sells Golden Tips Imperial is actually right next to it, and this is where we get the fated meeting. But lo and behold, we aren't really dealing with a couple of dummies. We have Deku, who is very smart, and Gentle, who really does seem worldly, although he does pull off some very comedically stupid gags. After a conversation sparked by Deku bringing up the very rare tea, it seems each is figuring the other out. Gentle noticing that the tea is very expensive, he must have high caliber friends, meaning most likely a high caliber school, i.e. UA. Deku noticing the familiar voice mixed with the obsession of tea reminds him of the video he just previously saw. And I absolutely love that they did not drag this scene out. While Gentle does try to stroll it off, Deku is quick to call his bullshit. Hey, I know who you are. But instead of trying to play along with a comedic gag, Gentle takes off his disguise and we soon get the fight. And I gotta say, for people calling Gentle mid or whatever the fuck that means, I'm assuming mid caliber, I absolutely love how he used his power, and I felt a rush watching this fight. I wasn't going into it with the intensity I was with Overhaul, having all the emotional distraught placed upon me by the horrific acts he portrayed. It's more like I got that feeling where a badass beatdown is about to come out. And the upcoming sequence is why this episode reminded me of Yu Hakusho in the first place. First and foremost, a couple of shots animating Deku's new finger flick style, which by the way is called Delaware Smash Air Force. I gotta say, you know what, that is a spot on name. But honestly, when he uses his actual stance, it reminds me of Yusuke Urameshi's The Spirit Gun. Honestly, it sent chills down my spine. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck's fuck's going on? And then the following actual fight is so reminiscent of a scene later on in the series. For those who don't like spoilers, go ahead and stop the video here because I'm just gonna ramble on about Yu Hakusho for a little bit. You have my blessing. Now, later on in the series, Yusuke has been through hell and back, and his power becomes absolutely incredible, almost Saitama level type powers. He goes through an existential crisis. What does it mean to be a spirit detective? What do I do with all this power? What does it actually mean? What's the point when the humans I'm trying to protect are more evil than the fucking demons? What does it mean now that I'm part demon? While trying to work through his conundrum with a past spirit detective, their conversation is interrupted. Yes, several demons from Demon World have shown up, trying to bring Yusuke back to meet his ancestor. Now, while it seems for a second these low-level demons have the upper hand, in reality, it's all a honey trap set up by Yusuke to bring him in close, all to smell the dude's breath to see if he's actually eating humans or not. And he said, for not even a split second was I ever out of control of the situation. But the whole situation is very reminiscent of what we're seeing in today's episode. And quirks in general, I question, does mastering a quirk beat overall power? And in the end, it really doesn't. We see if you come up against an All Might character or an All for One or one of these heavy hitters like Shigaraki or Overhaul, their overwhelming power is most likely going to, overwhelm you. But it just goes to show you how powerful a quote unquote low level or low quality quirk can be in the right hands and if you put an effort to master it. Another great example is Sekre from Black Clover. Look at her quote unquote low quality, low tier sealing magic. It comes in fucking clutch. Not only is she able to preserve herself as well as Lumiere for 500 years, but she's able to seal a fucking devil. Once again, showing off how you can use said power as well as trying to master a unappreciated one. So again, why I postulate that you can't fight overwhelming power. I mean, you can't take on a Saitama level character with a mastery of Mineta's purple fucking balls. It does go to show you that putting effort and strength to master your own quirk can go a long fucking way. Sorry, I know that was a bit of a tangent. But like I said, that pose mixed with the whole situation was very, very reminiscent of Yu Hakusho, and I had to bring it up. But like I said, Gentle is showing off his power and his mastery of it. He is able to basically make anything elastic, even the air itself, using it as a shield to stop Deku and his full cowling, but even launches him back at an equal power level, which is very awesome because even Gentle and Labrava notice like, dude, that guy fucking flew. His power and speed must be off the fucking charts. So it seems that Gentle does have some battle prowess. But at this point, Deku is still not giving up. He has flashes of Ares in his head. All the other students working fucking hard. We even see that Jiro comes up to him in one scene and asks for like, hey, can you help me with like notes and stuff? I want to make it more legible for other people because I'm making it for the band. He's like, wow, I'm so, I actually admire you for doing that. Like, much respect for that. You're putting a lot of effort into this shit. And we all know that Deku is the master of taking notes. So I mean, of course she'd go to him. But yeah, as Gentle and Labrava take off, the pursuit is on. He is in full chase. And I absolutely love that he is using his elasticity power to like springboard / trampoline off the air itself. He even uses it as an attack to send Deku fucking flying. But now that Deku has his support item and he's been trying to master his finger flick, he's able to get a shot off mid-air while falling. And this is where we see the Delaware Smash Air Force actually hitting its mark, sending Gentle into a fucking half-constructed building full of just I-beams everywhere. Still trying to plead with him as Deku shows up on scene. Labrava's trying to like tell the one single guy on the street to, oh, don't worry about it, we're just filming shit. Don't tell your neighbors or tell your neighbors we're just filming. I don't know exactly what she said, but she's literally still rolling this entire fucking time. And while it does kind of interrupt the fight, we do see a very comedic stopgap when it comes to Gentle. Deku, who rolls out of it, thanking Mina's training when it comes to dancing. Yet Gentle basically is hung up on a fucking I-beam. Each one basically saying, I'm not giving up. Like, they're just showing their determination, trying to have the other one back down. Deku is even trying bluffing. I already called the cops. Heroes are coming. Gentle's not fucking giving up though. And this is where we see his power being like just fucking masterful again. He starts ricocheting off the fucking I-beams and off the fucking air. He is even able to reflect using these elastic membranes, as he calls it. Deku's new finger flick move, and it hits him right in the fucking neck. Talk about fucking blowback. But then the next scene, we actually see Gentle be, kind of villainish. He's an actual fucking criminal. We can't forget that. He is doing bad stuff. Even if he's a kind of a vigilante, if there's a noble meaning, he is breaking the law. And we see him begin to take one of the I-beams and just completely fucking bend it back and forth, explaining his power, saying, eventually this is going to go back to normal. I just can't cancel my power. But what do you think happens to a fucking I-beam when it goes like this state to a normal straight state. But Deku ain't no dummy. He knows exactly what the fuck's going on, and he also notices that guy is still hanging around, the one that LaBrava was talking to earlier. Gentle jumps off, and the I-beam just fucking snaps, and it looks like it's just headed for this fucking dude. Deku in a split second is easily able to catch it though, but it's fucking I-beam, and it's fucking heavy. But Deku is calling out Gentle shit. He goes, dude, you are a fucking villain through and through. You were aiming for him. He goes, oh, no. I know you were a UA student. I know you'd catch it. But even if you didn't, I'd make it bounce back. And he just gives him this really fucking evil look. And at the same time, he's like, I applaud you for actually, being able to catch it and stick with it. And it does show you are like an actual hero. Yet I'm taking this opportunity and I'm fucking ditching out. And he turns a crane basically into a fucking slingshot, fires him and LaBrava out. And we get like a super badass scene with Deku. He fucking one arms the I-beam and fucking Air Force finger fucking flicks him and is able to fucking knock him out of the air. Like, that's awesome. Awesome. Today's episode, it was a good fucking episode. I didn't expect much because you guys said this is where I stopped watching or I skipped this arc. Honestly, this is a much needed arc. I needed a palate cleanser. Overhaul arc was fucking emotionally devastating, and this one is just a 1960s Adam West Batman episode. Like if they had boom, pow, thwack come up in little word bubbles, I'd fucking love it. I'm able to relax because there's no life or death struggle, and there's no emotional intensity to this. We do see that there is emotions going on with, basically all the sides, but still just, it's nowhere near as devastating or as intense as the Overhaul arc. So honestly, I absolutely loved it. And to seeing the finger flick look like the spirit gun, and the making me think about how quirks can actually be mastered. It was a very, very good episode. And next week's looks just as good. We see the continuation of Deku versus Gentle. They're getting closer and closer to UA. So it's honestly do or die. Deku needs to stop them now, or otherwise everything will be ruined. So with that being said, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.